Greetings, I'm Zachary Hepner. I'm pleased to share the Svar Torah with you for Parashat Bereshit. The Asarah Harugei Malchut, the 10 slain by the government, is found in a few places in rabbinic literature. It's fragmented in the Talmud, recited in the poem R Ishmael as Kinah 21 on Tisha B'Av, also in the Yom Kippur musaf liturgy as Eleh Ezkerah, which is based on the short Midrash called Eleh Ezkerah, that itself has a few versions. As he spoke and bemoaned and cried and lamented, Caesar's daughter gazed from her window and saw the beauty of Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol, and her pity was aroused, and she sent for her father a single request. Caesar replied, "Anything except Rabbi Ishmael and his colleagues." She sent to him, "I request from you to spare his life." He sent to her, "I have already sworn." She sent to him, "I request, if so, for you to strip his face skin, in order that I can gaze at it instead of a mirror." Immediately he commanded to strip his facial skin. As soon as they reached the forehead location of the tefillin, he yelled a bitter yell that shook the earth and the heavens. His second yell caused the heavenly throne to shake. The ministering angels asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this tzaddik, who has seen all the heavenly and earthly secrets, will die such an unusual death from this wicked one? Zot Torah v'zos chara? This is the Torah, and this is its reward. He, God, said, "Leave him, that his merit will sustain for many generations." Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu said rhetorically, "What can I do for my son? It is a decree, and nobody can annul it." A heavenly voice proclaimed, "If I hear another noise, I will turn the world into tohu vavohu, or primordial soup." When Rabbi Yishma'el heard this, he was silent. Caesar asked him, "Until now you have been silent and did not cry, and now you scream?" He replied, "I don't cry for my neshama, but for the mitzvah of tefillin that has been taken from me." Caesar asked, "Do you still trust in your God?" He replied from Job 13, "They will kill me, to him I hope." Immediately, the soul of Rabbi Ishmael departed. What is tohu vavohu? Does it mean more than just primordial soup? Why cannot an omnipotent God annul his own decrees? Are his decrees the rock paradox in philosophy? I'm referring to the question, could God create a stone so heavy that even he could not lift it? Why is God so concerned by the murmuring of the ministering angels? Is there significance in Rabbi Ishmael crying when the damage reached his forehead, where his tefillin would usually rest? Is there significance in Rabbi Ishmael as the first martyr and the one who caused the angels to be so confounded? In contrast to the heavens, where God is more manifest, it's axiomatic that in this divine experiment, also called the physical world, or haaretz, in contrast to shamayim, that God is hidden enough that we possess free will to choose between good and evil. Only God, as the hidden God, can us free-choosing beings accomplish the greatest achievement, and that is to trust and rely on the omnipotent, yet hidden deity. Divine judgment, or theodicy, is also hidden from us, and to rely and trust on the omniscient deity further accomplishes our duty in this divine experiment. The narrative of Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol's cruel murder touches upon all the key elements in the creation narrative. But why and how? Why did God create this world? And how can we make the experiment a successful one? Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol was an angelic human who was able to straddle both universes. As a human, he was so beautiful that the daughter of Caesar wanted to keep him alive. As a Kohen Gadol, he lived in the ivory tower in this physical universe. He entered the Holy of Holies on Yom Kippur and related the experience of meeting Akatriel Ka Elokei Tzavakot, sitting upon a high and exalted throne. If there was ever a person who straddled both worlds, it was he. The Tefillin Shel Rosh is a testament that God's management in this world is active, or also called the notion of hashgacha pratit. Hashgacha pratit is a necessary theology in order to fully grasp meaning with theodicy. The notion of God not finding someone who may annul his own decree brings us back to the greater question that while we may rely and trust on God, we should not expect to understand the reasoning behind why God makes decisions. In heaven, there ought to be no questions of theodicy, because a higher manifestation of God ought to let the angelic beings stay their questions, trust that the omniscient one is thoroughly good. The angels' faith had faltered when they saw the treatment of R Ishmael Gdol, and it created a theological event, a cataclysmic event. His crying alone reached the heavenly throne. If this fate happens to a human who is as close to an angel as it gets, then is there justice? The problem is not with the question, but with who is asking the questions. For a human to ask that question, well, that is indeed a human question. Us humans are working on our search for a higher manifestation of God and tools to better trust and rely on Him. But angels, that's a different matter entirely. That question should not be in the place where God is more manifest. Finally, this brings us to tohu vavohu, the soupy stuff that was after the word Bereshit, but before the words, let there be light. What is tohu vavohu? There are so many interesting explanations. My young daughter was taught one that it was tangled mess, like a black tangled yarn. That's nice. After learning about the properties of plasma and how real plasma does not emit any light, one could make the suggestion that it is plasma, which did not emit light until God declared so. One could suggest that it is the pure dark nothingness that some people experience in their near-death experiences. But I would like to make yet another suggestion based on this passage in Midrash Eleh Ezkerah. The world with humans is with purpose. We have the ability to connect to the divine, rely on trust on Him, and turn physical matter into instruments of holiness. But if the angels in the heavens are unable to trust in God's judgment, then the foundations of the universe is pulled away. In other words, Yichud Hashem is down below, Kiddush Hashem is high above. If there is Yichud Hashem problems high above, then the pillars of the world are not firm. Tohu vavohu is the state of the universe before there was meaning, or before anything in this universe provided any meaning. In other words, the state of absence of any meaningful theodicy ought to be named tohu vavohu odyssey. A heavenly voice called, if I hear another noise from you angels, I will turn the world back into its original meaningless state, because problems with theodicy down below is our challenge, but high above, it is fundamentally problematic. Wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom.